Welcome to Diablo's Den, the Corona Chronicles, episode number 4. I am your co-host, Jay Reason, and I'm here with the one, the only, Danny Diablo, a.k.a. Lord Isaac.
What's up, Queens, baby, all day. Queens finest. Shout out to Queens finest.
Man, we've got a great episode for you tonight, and we're really excited about everything going on. So before we bring in and let you guys know about our guests, we're going to just do the quick rundown and see what's been happening for the past week and shit. E, what's been going on since we last recorded with you?
You fucked me up today, B.
Why? What happened?
I've been listening to Mind Force. But shit is hard, nigga.
So
it's hard.
We finally have come.
It's like Leeway. If Leeway had a baby with No Mercy.
Yeah, dude, it's really good. So I'm literally the thing I've been checking out.
Put me on, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, to all the guys of Mind Force, I'm sorry I said I didn't know you guys anything. But your shit is dope, and now I learned.
Yeah, well, listen. Here's the thing.
You taught an old dog new tricks.
Well, here's the thing.
I listened to it. My girl was like, "That shit's hard."
Yeah,
I love it.
They just dropped a new record at the top of this week that me and Danny are talking about. So that's been the one thing we've been talking about. The new Mind Force EP called "Swinging Swords, Chopping Lords." Swinging Swords, Chopping Lords.
I swing swords all the time.
Yeah. So that's hard. So that just came out, and it's crazy because I waited up the other night to buy it on vinyl at midnight, and that shit sold out within the hour. They sold out the whole first press.
I'll tell you right now, it sounds like Leeway mixed with No Mercy. So Mike Mears' old band, No Mercy, McClayton. It's the production. They are metalheads.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, and you know what's too is
hardcore singer. It's beautiful.
We're gonna wait to announce this a little bit more down the line, the project that you and I are working on. But we know that Jay is gonna be the singer of Mind Force. Is gonna be helping you and I with one of those things. So it's gonna be cool to have him in there.
I'm gonna grab his guitar player too.
Well, we're gonna have to get Mike in there. Shout out to both those guys.
Him and Maddie Pasta together would be great.
So that's awesome, man. What else has been happening in your neck of the woods, man? You back to work this week? You were saying, right?
Fuck yeah, yeah. I was working in Queens, in Flushing, and it's crazy because I'm working construction with everyone with a mask on.
Yeah.
Even the drunk Mexicans who are doing the flagging next to me, they're drunk with a mask on. I'm like, this guy's drunk. Who the fuck cares about the mask, bro? Don't start drinking. This nigga's drinking all day. But you know what? It's cool to talk to people. It's cool to talk shit to people.
Right.
It'll tell you the funniest thing that I noticed in New York City that's really bothering me. The kids in New York City, the younger generation, don't have a New York accent.
What do you mean?
Like they're whack. They're like hipsters. They're like they have mustaches and shit, and they're tight ass clothes, and they don't fucking have no accent. So let's say the Northern Boulevard is going this way, two big lanes, right?
Okay.
One this way, one this way.
Right.
So in construction work, my boss Vinny, we go in the car this way, right? We park next to the construction site, so cops are here. So back in the day, cops wouldn't bother a construction worker.
Right? Yeah. No.
In the city, he's like, but he said in a whack like Montana, fucking like the sheriff. We're gonna pull you over.
Almost
next
like
time you do this.
consciously trying to.
If you do this, you know what I said to him? Nigga, we're already over. What are you talking about? They told me to shut up. He looked at me like you want to kill me. I'm like, and my boy was like, "Yo, quiet. Load the window." I didn't want to load the window. I was like, Corona, nigga, Corona. But I couldn't believe how much of a dick the cops in Flushing were. I mean, it's like, yo, bro, it's like we're doing construction. It's people are dying from coronavirus. Why are you trying to pull you over, nigga? I'm over already.
Right.
I'm not even driving. But it's to say that I want to say one thing to people all the time. I have nothing against police officers or authority. My father was a cop. My father was a cop in the 8th Precinct and the 2-3 precincts. In Spanish Harlem, 8th Precinct, Bushwick. He was a cop from 62 to 82, the worst years in New York City. And he was a great man.
Yep.
So I grew up with cops. I mean, a lot of my friends are cops, DEA, FBI, ATF. A lot of my friends growing up, marshals,
right,
the sheriffs. I grew up. It's always good to have people in both sides of the law. You know?
Right.
And I'm just saying that a lot of people are like, fuck cops. Don't write that shit on my page because I know a whole bunch of cops.
Yep.
A lot of cops. Some cops are just like people.
Yeah.
Some cops take it as a job. and some cops are dicks. Right?
No,
Some
and we
cops
know. Listen,
really-
I mean, we have friends. We don't have to
we
say
have
their
good cops
names.
and bad cops. So I'm
Yeah,
saying, like,
that's all we
everyone-
got to say. We have friends that we know.
Yeah.
You know what's up, and those they support us in their own ways, and that's all we got to say about that. So
Yeah, good cops, there's good people, bad people, good cops and bad cops. So not all cops are assholes. Just
Right.
Remember,
No,
that. Remember, a cop can save your life one day. That's all.
Totally.
Bye-bye.
It was funny because I was just listening to one of your interviews recently, and you were telling the
Shout out
story.
to Sean Finley.
You were telling the story about how you guys drove in the station wagon to the synagogue really far.
Yeah.
When you were little, and I just crack up thinking about that because you said as soon as you got there, your dad was like, "Okay, let's just get out of here."
Yeah, my father's like, I was born Jewish. I don't need this shit.
Yeah, that's kind of my. It's,
Yeah. He's like, "Yo, it's a nice synagogue. Let's get the fuck out of here." You don't give. My father was so fucking amazing, like a hard ass motherfucker.
that story made me smile, man, just because, again, it kind of, it's like that old school kind of, almost, it just reminds me of my dad, too. Like, the mom makes you go somewhere, and then you get dragged to this thing, and it's like,
Yeah.
what is this?
I remember they went to Puerto Rico and let me in the house when I was 13, 14 years old. And they went to Puerto Rico for 2 days. My mother came home and was like, that was the fucking worst. Your father's like, fucked everything up. But the father's like, I don't give a fuck. You know?
Yo, I love that story, man. So I just a quick shout out, man, to all that. So, yo, we've got a really great show for you guys tonight. Two guests. This is gonna be really a lot of fun. So I'm gonna bring our first one in. And this one is a little bit of background. Is a really cool new young band called Concrete Dream. You've heard us plug them on the show a bunch of times. It's a new project that's being developed by Danny and our other homeboy Donnie. And they're on E-Train Records, which is E's label. And we're gonna get Jeremiah in here, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about them. So just give us 1 second to dial them in, and we'll be right back. Hang on. All right, and we're back. The Corona Chronicles, episode number 4. So we're here with our first guest of the night. I want to welcome everyone, Jeremiah from Concrete Dream.
Yo, what's good?
Yeah.
What's going
What's good?
on?
Good, Jake.
How are you, man?
Good, man. Thank you for having me.
Man, thanks for joining us tonight. So, dude, for everyone who's not familiar, we were saying a little bit right before you joined on, Concrete Dream, obviously, if you've been listening to Diablos, then we've plugged the band. We're huge fans here over here. Our homeboy Dale did the video, which was amazing. The singles are sick, and you guys are kind of part of this whole like new wave of new emerging. I hate using the term new metal because it's kind of like weird, but trap metal, trap rock.
It's trap. We're going by trap metal because that's like where music is right now, with like the fusion of where hip hop is, and where we're trying to still keep the metal scene alive, and we have that metalcore feel.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's like, it does derive from new metal. It does derive from hardcore.
And
it does derive from everything. It's crossover.
It's new metal to me is not a dirty word. I like new metal a lot. So it's not a dirty word to me. So everybody welcome one more time Jeremiah from Concrete Dream. So we're excited.
Jeremiah Mayhem.
So
Jeremiah,
Jeremiah, where are you holed up right now in the quarantine, man? Where are you hanging?
I'm out there in the field, man. I'm an essential worker, man. I'm out there delivering wine right now. I got a side job. And then other than that, I'll be home chilling with my wife, writing music, relaxing. Just mac until this, this shit's done. I'm in, West New York, New Jersey, Hudson County all day is my hometown. I grew up dirty Jersey my whole life.
Nice.
But I always, we grew up right here in Hudson County.
Before you say that, you know that Jeremiah knows Rat Bones?
No. Oh, dude, Rat Bones was my roommate. Rat Bones lived with me in my projects when I was 14. My mother. You can bring him on the show right now. Bring Rat Bones on the show right now. He squatted. Check this out. He squatted with us. He met me and my whole crew. Ended up sleeping over Grano's house. Grano's mom found him. Out. Then I was like, I always had the cool mom. I love my mom. Big shout outs to my mom, Vanessa. I love her. Amazing woman, Puerto Rican woman. Everybody was always chilling at my house. We all smoked weed, chilling. And then I was like, I brought home Rat Bones. I was like, Mom, this is Rat Bones, my friend. She was like, she fucking looks at Rat Bones. And she's like, all right. She's like, you want to take a shower?
How fucked up is that?
My stepfather.
Rat Bones is from Jersey originally.
I know. He's from Tom's River.
That's crazy.
Rat Bones is big, bro. You understand? You don't understand. Rat Bones, when I was a kid, I met Rat Bones when I was 14.
Yeah.
All right. Rat Bones was the first person. He put me on to Subhumans. He's like the one that like showed me fucking Crown of Thorns. Like Rat Bones showed us all. He put on my whole hood to like, you know, hardcore, New York hardcore and punk and like all that shit. Like, you know, we had a fucking, we were like the Hudson County suburb punks. We were like a fucking, we formed a crew. He had us form a crew and shit. We'd walk around throwing cinder blocks on our windows and spray painting cars. You know, he really fucking led us as a punk rock crew, man. God bless him, man. I do it. I can bring 3 people on this show. Bring Rat Bones on this show. This is all on my mother truth. Like, no lie.
Okay.
Like, this guy lived
we believe you, nigga. We believe
for
you.
years. And then, you know, he went to his alter ego, and then now he's doing good. You know, so I love that. I saw him. I saw him right after Black and Blue. I saw him again after we played the Black and Blue at Coney Island, baby, because he was there. And
you guys are playing again.
I know. I can't wait. I can't wait.
So James, let's ask the question.
Yeah. So Jeremiah, I was just going to talk a little bit about. I always like to ask how people got into music and their journey into it. So you were saying you were obviously like introduced through hardcore by Rat Bones, which is not everyone can say that story. I mean, that's a pretty, you know, infamous character in the New York hardcore scene to be able to attach yourself to.
I was very lucky. One thing I will say, I was mad lucky to grow up around a lot of crazy ass OGs. Like, it started with Rat Bones, and then from Rat Bones, I ended up getting into music. And I was like, oh, I don't want to really skate and be a punk. I want to like take music seriously. So I started chilling in the studios. And then I started hanging out with the guys from Drag Pipe. I don't know, you know, if you guys remember that band Drag Pipe.
Yeah.
I know you know the singer Jay Diablo.
I was in rehab in LA with Jay Diablo.
You told me that.
How crazy is that? He used to be in a band called STEM.
Yep.
Yo, that guy was crazy. Yo, he's a good musician, but makes beats too.
He does. He made beats for Capadonna from Wu-Tang and Ghostface. He made beats for a couple people from Wu-Tang. That's
after Jay Diablo.
Yo, that's crazy.
Jay Diablo and shout outs to Gino and everybody from Drag Pipe. Go listen to that album. Seriously, they were signed to Interscope. They made one album. It's seriously one of my favorite albums of all time. Music for the last day of your life.
Awesome. So Jeremiah, what was your journey like getting into performing like with your band? What was your first band like, and how did you get that bug? Was it just from going to shows and you're like, oh man, I gotta?
Like I was saying, I was lucky. Like from going from Rat Bones and coming to the New York hardcore scene. Like I saw Agnostic Front play at Wetlands. I saw the Da Vinci.
No, so did I. It was awesome.
I saw some of the last Wetland shows as a young kid.
Yep.
Yeah.
That to me was like my first taste, and then I saw the hip hop battles there. Like I saw my bragging rights.
Shows.
Yeah, so Wetlands was like intense. It was like punk rock, and then it was hip hop, and it was everything. It was the fucking scene at one point. So I got that real taste, and then coming back home, meeting the guys from Drag Pipe, watching them get signed. You know, sold out CBGBs 3 nights in a row. Yep. They got signed to Interscope. I was there for all that. I was literally like watching all this. So it's just
that put the bug in you, so to speak, a little bit to be like, all right, I gotta try to.
You have no idea. And then what happened was I got fucked up with selling weed and get a bunch of fucked up shit. And then I went away to fucking juvenile hall for like 6 months. And I did mad fucking reflecting, mad crazy reflecting. I came out, Drag Pipe had lost the deal. It was like a fucking disaster. It was like all sad and shit. It was like a fucking, you know, the whole. And then I ended up going to another studio. And then one day I was jamming with my boy Mikey and Gio. We were in a band called That Must Die. Okay. And this is real talk. We're jamming. We have a killer jam. Come outside in the hallway. And suddenly it's fucking Chris from El Nino, Laz from El Nino, Dave from El Nino, Jamie Josta, and fucking like 4 other people. They were recording One Nation Underground.
Nice.
At the 4th Street Studio. That's the the record that Jamie's on and Matt were on that record. It was one of the last records they were on, Roadrunner.
Yep.
El Nino. Right. And they were recording that in my studio. I had no idea. I'm just fucking down the hall doing my thing. Came out, and then like they fucking went crazy. They were like, yo, what the fuck? You kids are fucking ripping it right now. It's fucking 2 o'clock in the afternoon. What the fuck you guys? And I was like, yeah, we really trying to do this shit. So I got that fucking, camaraderie from them, and just seeing everybody around me, like between El Nino, 40 Below Summer, and then E-Town Concrete, like my best friend's fucking.
Yeah, that kind of whole razor and tie.
Yeah, it was just like. Yep. It was just this monster of an era of music to me. It was just like I had to do it, and
the guy who told me about Jeremiah, first guy who would say you gotta listen to this guy rap was Eddie Leeway.
Oh, no shit. All right, shout out Eddie, who we've had on the show.
Eddie Leeway putting Jeremiah on. Eddie was like, shout out to Laz also.
Yeah, shout out to Laz and Christian, all those guys.
Yeah, but Eddie Leeway hit me up. He was like, yo, whatever. And I said, all right. Because I said, I'm doing a band, and I'm looking for new acts. And he said, I got this guy. He's a solo, but he has a band too. And I was like, all right, let me see what's up. Then one day I went to I was in Queens, and I was at the what's that club? Nicky Camp's club. Blackthorn. And all of a sudden, I see him and his boy, and I was like, yo, what's up, blah blah. And we started talking. They came up to me, but he told me before he came up, they were scared of me. Like you were like, I was like, no, what's up, guys?
I was. That was so. No, I saw you at. That was the Agnostic Front show.
Yeah.
That was when I first met you in person. But before before all that even happened, it was like, it was been a real transition for me. Like, going from
a solo
rapping to singing solo. It was, and I've always been in bands. Like I was a bass player for bands my whole life. Like my whole career up until me pursuing rapping with White Henny, me losing the deal with White Henny, and then transitioning into like this phase of Concrete Dream.
Right.
And Eddie, there's that whole thing. Like Eddie literally saw me like about to fucking do all this big shit as White Henny and then lose that shit. And then boom, I'm in Concrete Dream now. And he witnessed that. And like, I wasn't even singing on the records. I wasn't singing at all. I was just rapping. I was barely screaming.
You're a dope rapper, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
You're dope. You're a dope singer. You have a dope style. And when I first heard him, I was like, yo, this kid, he's white and fucking Puerto Rican. He's fucking dope. He has a dope style. And I was like, yo, this kid, I believe in this kid.
That's awesome. So let's talk a little bit about the birth of Concrete Dream and sort of that relationship. Like Jeremiah, how did you get the band together? Like you were saying, you were used to being a solo person. So how did you get the band together? And then tell us a little bit about that journey, bringing it to the E-Train Records path. Because I think that a lot of people would like to hear that, especially like you said, you were doing shit solo. And then that you had kind of in your mindset said like, yo, this is going to be my thing. I'm building towards this. And the next thing you know, now you're in a band. So put that in a little bit of perspective for some of our listeners, man, because I think that people would love to hear that story.
Yes.
Fortunately, like I was lucky that my drummer and my bass player were always rocking with me and White Henny. So, White Henny always performed live with a band. Like I never, White Henny only performed one time without the band. And that was at EO Dub, end of the week. Shout outs to EO Dub, Big Zoo. And big ups to Nunzio. It was the longest running open mic in New York City.
I know Nunzio for a long time.
Oh yeah, that's one of the best seriously, they still going strong. But going from that like phase and then always jamming with the band, it was kind of easy. So I had it going already, but it wasn't as intense as Concrete Dream. It was like a backup band to a rapper. Like they're covering the songs. It's different. It's a different energy. It wasn't as metal, it wasn't as hardcore. It was more laid back, but it was still aggressive at the same time. Mm-hmm. But then losing the guitar player that we were working with, Alex, big up to Alex. Just shit was going on. He couldn't play guitar no more. We lucked out with JFK because Mena, my bass player, was already working with JFK.
He's a dope. Mena's a dope bass player, bro.
No, he's Cuban. Mena's the one that.
Shout out.
Yeah, his bass player's Cuban.
That's awesome.
Yo, shout out to everybody in Concrete Dream. The bass player, the Cuban Beef, Mena, the drummer, the Filipino sensation, Juan Bang, and the Irish
Filipino drummer. He's the dopest. Shout out Juan.
Shout out to JFK. Shout outs to my DJ D Preezy.
So Jeremiah, how did you end up linking up? How did the band end up coming together into the studio and linking up?
Like we were saying, we were already in the studio. We were already in Soundmore Studio with Eddie Leeway. He was there through that whole transition, so the band was already in there.
Cool.
And Eddie's like, "Yo, you should sing. Like, you should take this up. You got to sing in the hooks. Like, you got to. Nobody's gonna want to hear this shit." And also, Gordon.
Is that Eddie Leeway and Rap Bones?
Dude,
yo, that's a pretty. Like I said, man, not a lot of people can say that that's how they got into this whole thing.
Eddie literally sat there and he was like, "Yo, just sing. Like, sing what you feel, man." And I was freestyling hooks in front of Eddie with the band jamming. Eddie's just there smoking cigarettes and Spider-Man stands like this, and he's just listening to me. And he wasn't like. I can't say he was vocal coaching me, but he was coaching me like he was. Like he was like, "Yo,
he's one of the best singers in your hardcore."
Yeah,
yo,
no, he
is, man. And I listened to his records, and I kind of was like, you know what, man? Like, and the same thing with J Diablo. Like, both of them, like, you don't gotta be like this Boys to Men type singer. If you're singing from the soul and you believe that shit, and you really real, and the shit you're saying is real, people are gonna feel you, no matter what.
And especially on aggressive music too, it's like I almost think the raw and the passionate kind of realness works with the hard guitars and shit. Nobody really wants the too clean, you know?
No, for sure.
His tone, he sings reminds me of POD.
Yeah,
The singer
I mean, he's
POD.
one of my huge idols growing up to.
He's a,
Pick up the Sonny.
That dude can sing and is a cool guy. So
he's amazing.
That's a good person to look up to.
Totally.
He showed us a lot of love too when we opened up for POD. We opened up for POD twice, and he showed us a lot of love. He watched us. He took pictures with us. He rocks the shirt and everything.
That's awesome.
Picked up to Sonny.
So how did you? So then you when you guys
Shout
finished
to Sonny,
the record,
And then this is what happened. So now Eddie Leeway and Gordon, his manager Gordon, who was also an agnostic front, big ups to Gordon.
Yep.
They took me to Drew Stone's and they took me and my wife to Drew Stone's documentary premiere at Gramercy Theater.
Yep.
Yes.
And already, my beautiful wife, she already knew Stormy.
My girl, yeah, I
To the modeling
was on
scene.
I was on a panel.
He was on the panel, so like I wanted to go up to him that day and like kind of break bread. You know what I'm saying? Like just before he even put the post out, like, yo, I'm looking for bands. I didn't even know about E-Train Records. I just wanted to go break bread with homie.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I knew I had Eddie Leeway there. I had the stain. I could have been like, yo, what up? And then I was just like, nah, I'm nervous, man. Too much time to be out right now. I was like, I'm nervous. What's it called? So like, and then I was walking back home with Leeway and walking back home with Gordon. And originally Concrete Dream was going to be called Trap Metal. Literally.
Oh, no
we were
shit. Okay.
Literally, and I had the corn logo flipped backwards. It was going to be this whole shit. And then Gordon
Concrete
Leeway.
Dream much better for a name for a band for sure.
Me too.
Listen to the story. Listen to the story. And like after that, like after watching that documentary, like seriously, it was a dope documentary. Drew Stone did a magnificent job. Everybody was deep. To me, it hit me deep because like I'm still like, one would say like I wasn't there living it with y'all in the 80s and really living the fucking when real, like Eddie Leeway would say, when the real New York hardcore shit was real. So it's like and he even said in a documentary, you know what I mean? He's like, let's start it off with New York hardcore died in the 80s, whatever. That's Eddie, But it's like, I wasn't there. So watching that was really nostalgic to me, and it really like brought this energy to me. Yeah, inspiration. It was insane to me. It was like, yo, this is real. Like, I'm more than just some trap shit. Like, Gordon's right. Gordon was like, you're going to change. Your music's going to change. You don't want to label yourself as
He's right.
being one style.
Yeah.
And he was. And Eddie was right there. My girl was right there. And I was like, wow, So the next day I was just walking my dog, kicking the shit, whatever, staring at the floor, staring at the concrete. Like, our whole life we just fucking walk concrete floor, on some real shit. And then E-Town Concrete's literally one of my like big favorite bands.
I love E-Town Concrete.
Being from Jersey and being for hip hop and metal. They had a big inspiration in the name. Big shout outs to Ant Money, like absolutely big shout outs to Ant Money. And like just fighting for this dream. Like seriously, I've been fighting for this dream since I was 13. I've been rehearsing in studio since I was 14 years old in New Jersey. Like this is real. So I was like, yo, I'm still doing this shit. I'm 30 years old. We live in this dream. We're still on this fucking concrete dream.
That's cool.
And then I called all the guys. Right away. Right away, I Googled it first. Before I call the guys, I'm like...
just to make sure it's not taken or whatever.
So I don't sound like an asshole. And then it comes up, only thing that has is a country singer has a song called Concrete Dream.
Yeah, perfect.
Some country song.
So, Ezak, when you and Donnie heard the demos, what did you think? Were you like...
I heard this... Listen, I heard this shit, and I was like, this shit is dope.
What was the first song you heard from them? Do you remember?
Catch 22.
Catch 22. And I was like, Donnie, just...
one song.
I was like, yo, I listened to it, and it was, and I was like, yo, you guys gotta change it. You gotta change it to like hook, the chorus, hook.
We built it up.
They had it, but wasn't that Donnie was like, yo, Donnie is, we'll go in there and we'll switch this out. I was like, Donnie, they can't, you can't, when you talk to people, remember, it's their music. When people tell me about my music,
yeah, no, you gotta treat everybody.
I gotta talk, yeah. Nice. But Donnie is like, he's like the Gestapo in the studio. So,
yo, he's brutal.
Straight business.
Don is brutal.
I'm like, yeah, I'm rooting for the band. Donnie's like, no, that's how it goes. I mean? But that's
he's shitting all over us.
I mean, like, there's some things you need to talk to Donnie that you wouldn't want to talk to me about.
Right.
If you want to talk about touring and this stories and that, talk to me. If you want to talk about statistics and money, I don't know shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why I lucked out with two of the best managers in the business, man. I got got the yin and yang.
All the bases are covered. Yeah, for sure. So Jeremiah,
What was funny was Danny put out a post real quick. Danny put out a post. Long story short, Danny put out a post saying, "Yo, I got E-Train Records. I'm looking for any rap metal bands." I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, literally, it was 2 days later.
Yeah,
it was literally
planets aligned.
Eddie Leeway's right there smoking cigarettes, chilling in the room. And then I was like, "Yo, should I send my music to him? Is it cool?" And he's like, "Hell yeah, send my music. Send it over." I sent it over. Literally 24 hours later, Danny calls me. I guess a weird number. And I see his government name on my phone. I didn't know his government name. And I'm like, he's like, is this Jeremiah? I'm like, what? And he's like, what's up? And I'm like, oh man. I'm like, oh shit. What's up, Mr. Diablo? And I'm like, I was fucking shook. And he was like, my business partner's flying out from LA tomorrow. We're gonna meet you in the city. What time do you want to meet? Like that. Boom.
Well, listen, this is the thing.
He did it, and no, listen.
Like
I want
that.
to tell you something that made me want to work with these kids. First of all, he's very charismatic. So also, I call him the Trap Axl Rose because he has long hair. And another thing, all the guys in this band have jobs that financially fucking fit. So it's like dudes in bands where he's like, do this. They're like, we have no money. These guys all work together and we'll pay for the thing. I never had Magic Scarhead had Magic Scarhead had money. Like, imagine they work. These guys Puerto Rican money. These guys never know what works.
Well,
the work ethic of fucking Concrete Dream of Jeremiah and all his band is so fucking amazing that they are going to go fucking far. It's another thing I'm trying to tell you. Then E-Train Records, but I told these guys, if they get a big deal and a major label wants to sign them, sign the major label. Don't fucking. I'm not gonna be.
No. I mean, everybody grows. Especially, listen. The thing
is, I tell them they have to grow.
Everybody grows.
I'm trying to do my own career. How the fuck am I gonna do someone else's career? You understand?
No,
I'll bring you to this level. Always help you, but they deserve to be on a fucking major label.
Well, that's the thing.
All you major labels out there, give me a call.
Let's talk before we let Jeremiah go. I want to plug the video that you did with our good friend Dale Rage Restaghini. Shout out to Dale.
Hyro
the Hero.
And Hyro the Hero.
Hyro the Hero.
Jeremiah, tell us a little bit about that single. Tell the fans about the video working with Rage, because that video was sick, man.
No, seriously.
That was fucking amazing.
No, seriously, it was a big production. It's a shame you weren't there. It was intense. We had fucking VIP.
Tell who's on it in the remix. Tell Hyro the Hero.
We got Hyro. Well, let me tell you the story. So Dale got the song. Loved the song. Right away, he sends us on to Hyro. Hyro's like, this shit is crazy. I'm getting on it. He records the verse at the end, on the breakdown, sends it back to me. I'm like, this shit is hot. Don talks to his manager, and then now the label was holding it for a while. Sony Records, and then Sony Records was like, all right, this shit is hot. Clear it. And then fucking Dale was able to shoot the video, and we fucking shot it in West New York, New Jersey.
Yep.
We had about 150 kids there.
That thing was sick.
It was amazing.
It was packed. It was a packed house. We had my boy VB3 Lunch, Chef Coletti. He catered the event. It was intense, man. We seriously working with Rage. It was like seriously being on a movie set. We had a $75,000 camera. Big ups to Steve Romano for that. The DP on the set. Big ups to Don Capri, assistant director.
Did you guys know? Did you notice too, Jeremiah, like a difference in the band perception when you guys released a video like that? Because it premiered on Revolver. It came out real big all around. So did you notice that there was just a little bit of a jump right away where you were like, oh shit, and people started paying a little bit more attention?
We got a huge jump with a Dale. We got the stamp, like not for nothing. Ever since we dropped that video, like the week later, I was opening up for POD and Nonpoint.
Yep.
And then once, but twice.
Yeah.
And no local band travels like that between states.
Right.
So we're doing things that no local band's really doing. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome.
You know, so that came from Dale, and it wasn't even that it came from Dale necessarily. It just came from that.
It just organically happens from growing out of that, the music that we're all a part of.
Dale
does so much.
Yeah, we loved
Dale, Rage Nation films.
We love Dale here so much. He was our
no.
Love you, Dale.
He's helping Concrete Dream as we speak. He's probably going to shoot our next video. He's a man. He's been God.
He's the best, man. Family. Well,
he really is. And he puts in that work.
Awesome, Jeremiah. Well, listen, we're going to let you go real quick. Give everybody links to where can they listen to Concrete Dream, where they can.
Everybody,
Jeremiah,
talk to me.
Tell him that E-Train's the new Death Row.
Dude,
Tell him.
Chainbackers were the new Death Row, straight up. And you, the new Death Row.
So, Jeremiah, where can everybody hear Concrete Dream music? Obviously on all streaming platforms, but where can we find you on Instagram?
The new thing for us, and we're promoting it heavy. We have a beautiful.com right now. Seriously, it's a fucking amazing fucking thing to go to. ConcreteDreamBand.com.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
And we'll show that in our
All your
All
videos.
Everything's there. We got the videos. We got the Instagrams. We got the Instaspams. We got the Twitter. We got the YouTube. You go there. Everything's there. ConcreteDreamBand.com. Buy our merch.
Yeah.
The merch is there. We got 3 shirts. We got designs. We got masks, condoms. Get on that shit.
Concrete Dream, baby.
That's awesome. Well, yo, Jeremiah, thank you so much for stopping by.
Yo, Jeremiah, I love you, brother.
We're really
Love
excited.
you too, man.
We're going to have you come in when we get back into our regular routine. We're going to have you come into the studio.
Guys, I got to bring the band.
Yeah,
we got
to talk a little bit more about your relationship with E-Train and everything we have going on. But we are trying to involve all our friends in this time at being at home and
thank you
and showing everybody how people are staying active, especially bands like you guys who are new and things like that. And
and real quick, everybody, please tune in this Saturday to the Concrete Dream Facebook. We're going live with the singer from Fire from the Gods, the singer from Siler, Danny Diablo himself,
me,
Christian from El Nino, okay, the singer from Dropout Kings, the singer from Shifty from Crazy Town. I mean, it's going to be a live Zoom conversation about hip hop, the way hip hop fused with metal, from hardcore to trap to new metal, on where it was, where it came from, and where it's going. So check that out. Please sure to check that out.
Awesome. We'll put links for all that stuff in our description. So Jeremiah, thank you so much for joining us on Corona Chronicles.
Jeremiah,
man.
I love you, little brother.
And we will talk
to
you
soon,
too, man. Thank you so much.
Peace.
All right, guys, we are back on the Corona Chronicles, episode number 4. It is my pleasure to welcome the one and only Billy Biohazard.
The one and only.
What up, Billy?
Dude, thank you so
How you
much
doing, brother?
for checking in with us, Billy. We're so excited to have you on.
Good to see you guys, man.
Oh,
Virtually.
Billy, I love you, bro.
You too, brother. It's been too long.
Oh,
Billy, let's start off with the what everyone. I mean, how are you holding up with all this craziness, man? What's been going on?
I'm great, dude. I'm a fucking survivor. We all are.
Yeah.
I use this time. Hey, bud, please. My son's behind the camera making faces. Go inside with me. You know what? Like one of the things right away, I said to myself, I'm going to use this time to better myself, to do something different that I never had time for.
Awesome.
One of them, spending a little bit more time with my boy. But
that's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But so I learned some new skills, some new trades, and still doing music and kicking ass. I got like 4 records on the burner, and it's going good. Yeah,
man. I want to actually let's start off with talking about the first thing. I think it might be the most recent thing you did, which was your solo record, right, on Bridge 9, called "Feed the Fire." Right? Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Billy? Because that record was really great, man. And I know you teamed up with a friend of ours, Chris Wren, who's awesome at Bridge 9. So tell us a little bit about that record and sort of what made you want to do that and that whole journey.
Chris, fucking great dude. We all know how dope fucking Bridge 9 was. I always want to do something with those guys, and I'll be straight up.
Bridge 9 alum between the 3 of us. All of us have had releases on Bridge 9, which is pretty cool.
Me too, right?
Yeah, you had a Crown of Thorns, The Distance, and Billy Bio.
I heard Chris is putting out the new trap record.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
So I had I always wanted to work with Chris, and I always respected everything that he did. I love his ethic and all the bands that came out in Bridge 9. But straight up, fucking Edwin was always a hater, man.
Yeah.
He was always like, why would we do a step back? He'd be like, what are we going to take a step backwards for? Fucking, it's stupid. I'm like, it's not a step back, which is what we're from, dude. It's our shit. And looking back, man, I really think that if we would have done more shit that I wanted to do, it would have salvaged a lot of our, early era where we split Roadrunner and independent labels and went to major labels.
Right.
And caught a lot of flack for that shit. But regardless, so I got a chance to do it. I did a solo record. Now I have a whole new career.
That's
called
just
Billy.
hard, bro. That's
Yeah,
a
that
good
record is
man.
hard.
A real good record.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, especially the first single too was cool because I'm not sure if I'll be honest, I'm not sure what I expected, and when I got to hear it, man, it was like exactly what I thought it should be, if that makes sense. You know, it was like a very traditional, like hardcore rooted, like a lot of like anthem-ish type of lyrics. Man, the single was awesome. The video was really hot. It was really cool.
Yo,
to see
the
that come out.
video was fucking weird. The weird, crazy.
Yo, the video was
every
awesome.
point of view, it was like it's like you could go all around and stuff. I was like, what the fuck? And
Oh, that was
you
a
know who likes that
360
record?
video.
You know who likes that record and who hates everything? Paul Bearer. He loves that record.
How's he doing? I haven't seen him in a long time.
Ugly and miserable.
Good. He's good. Great. He was out here playing with I'm producing the new Count Time record, and he was on tour with those guys. I didn't make it. I was on tour, but I wanted to hang out with him.
No, but he's still the same.
Yeah, I know. That's good.
So Billy, continue talking a little bit about the Feed the Fire album. So how did that come together? Was that something that you'd always been working on and had wanted to do, or was that just like coming out of that Powerflo album cycle, or how did you decide to do that?
You know what? Looking back, Jay, now I look at it like I was always a solo artist. I always write my shit. Yeah. I brought my songs into Biohazard, and as much as I love Biohazard and I love the band vibe, but it was always like I would step up and bring a song in. Punishment, for example, whatever. I would bring the song in, and then we would put our shit together and make it a band song. But I was always the guy to bring my shit completely finished. I have demos of like Punishment, Tales from a Hard Side, songs completely done, acoustic version of What Makes Us Tick.
That's awesome.
But I like the way a band works. I like that fucking tension. I love it when Bobby and I get at it. We go face to face. No, man, that fucking sucks. No, yours sucks. Because out of that tension, it comes great shit. And I like that. But I'll tell you this, man, getting a chance to have my music and my shit come to fruition in full light without having somebody else putting their influence on, even though I like it. When other, I love playing with Bobby and Danny and shit, but I like having my shit be the way I intended.
Right.
It's your creation. It's your creation. Yeah. I definitely understand that. I understand that.
Yeah. You know what? You're a painter, Danny. You don't have somebody like when you fucking paint something, you don't invite your boys over and give them a paintbrush and paint and say, go ahead, change what you want.
No, I don't want them even in the room. I don't want no one in the room.
Exactly.
Even in the studio, I don't want them in the room.
Right.
So the same shit. So I got a lot of great energy. I'm on record number 2 now. It's almost done, and that'll.
Yeah, I need it. Give me a guest vocal spot, bro.
I would fucking love to, bro.
Yeah, we got to make that.
I'm there. I'll fly right out there and do it right in the studio. Fuck that. Fuck the studio over here. I'm going to your studio.
So
fuck
Billy,
quarantine.
With Feed the Fire, you produced all the songs yourself, and is that what you're doing with this second record too, or are you bringing in some other people, or what's the approach on this second record?
It's just the same stuff. I have I just got back from the studio. I was there all day, and it's my fucking cave, my creative cave. I just hang out there. There's no windows. It's the exact same vibe every day, whether you're there at 4 a.m. or 4 p.m. It looks the same, so that way the energy is not.
It's amazing.
I love that. Yeah.
And then, so I work with Tui Madsen. He mixes my stuff.
Oh yeah, he does an amazing job.
Yeah, he's a great fucking guy. So we're working on this new record, and it's supposed to come out in October, but I think shit's a little fucked up right now. So we'll see.
So Billy, obviously, like this whole craziness with the coronavirus and shit obviously affected all your touring. You guys must have had a bunch of stuff planned, right? That's obviously maybe being pushed back. Is there anything you could talk about that was maybe in the works, either on your solo stuff or even the Powerflo stuff?
Yeah, we did. Sen and I have been working on the new Powerflo for a while. We're almost done.
That's just hard.
Yo,
bro.
that record's hard.
Sen Dog is one of the coolest guys in the world. Shout out to Sen Dog. Your bass player is cool as fuck too. You guys
Christian's great. Thank you, brother.
It's a great band, man. It's hard as fuck.
Hard. Great lineup.
It's good shit.
Yeah,
great lineup.
Great lineup of people in that band. Sorry, Billy. Go ahead.
The new record, the new Powerflo records. a lot harder than the first record, a lot more metal. Sen is a fucking he spits. I mean, we know him as Cypress Hill, but he's a fucking metalhead, man.
He's a beast.
When we were doing the first record, we'd be in the studio, and I'm a big fucking Cypress Hill fan. He's like, we've been big Cypress Hill fans for your kids.
Me too.
Yeah.
So to be in a band with him, and even though we're homies, but I'm like, no. I'm trying to make it. Let's make it more like you guys. Make it more groovy. And he's like, no. Make it more like your shit. Yeah, he likes.
What was the band that he was in a band before that was hard too?
SX10.
SX10.
Yeah, that was hard.
Yeah, that was fucking hard too. That was bad punk rock. You mean?
Yo, Billy, can you tell us a little bit about how Powerflo came together? Because I think on the surface it wouldn't seem like a group of people that would come together for a record, but then when you hear it and you know the history between you guys and Cypress Hill, like you were saying, and just your history with hip hop, really in general, with the hip hop community and stuff, how did that come together? The Powerflo story. Like, I want to hear about how you guys linked up and decided to do a band.
It's a funny story, man. The band was a band, before we finished the record, we weren't even a band. So there was like just a bunch of dudes that got together. Sen would come to the studio. First off, it was him and Roy. Roy from Downstate. He's not in the band.
Shout out Roy.
Shout out to Roy. But they came to me in the studio, and I was working on a Biohazard record at the time, and we just split up. We had some fallout with Scott, and I came back, and I was like, man, you know what? Now's the fucking time. I'm doing my fucking solo shit. I'm gonna do this shit. So Sen comes in the studio, and he's like, "All right, we got this new thing going on. You want to get down with it?" And I'm like, we just had a baby. I don't want to leave and go sit in a van for something new. If I'm gonna leave my family, I want to go and do my own shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm working on the solo thing. I said, but if you want, I like the music. I'm always down to work with you. So I'll produce your record. I'll write some songs for you if you want. And that's how it started. So I wrote a bunch of songs, and that was the beginning of the band. And then there was no name. There was nobody. It was just Sen and I after Sunday night football, he'd show up at the studio at fucking 9 p.m. bring a couple buddies, his fucking biker crew, and then we just write songs. We work on music and drink a bunch of beers, and after like 2 or 3 months, we had a bunch of songs.
That's
awesome. And then we ended up recording the record.
Yo, who's the drummer?
So Fernando, dude.
Yeah, who is that guy?
So he was with.
That dude play some hard shit, bro.
He's fucking hard shit, man.
Yeah,
but
I'm
bro,
watching play. I'm like, oh shit.
Him and I had a band together called Endra from Brazil.
Right.
He's a fucking badass drummer. He's a hardcore kid from Sao Paulo in a band called the band was called Treta. It's like hate means I think it means hate. They're like the hardcore dudes. It's like the fucking the heart of the hard in fucking Sao Paulo. Yeah. Anyways, him and I have been friends for like 20 years, and we had a band together. So then we were looking for a drummer, and Roy asked me, "What do you think about Fernando?" I'm like, "He's a fucking killer drummer, man."
Yo, he's a dope drummer.
Yeah, he is a really good drummer.
So we brought him in. We taught him the songs. He learns real quick. Yeah. He learned them on the spot because I don't give my music. I don't email nobody anything. When my drummers play, they listen to the song, we jam it, and they record it. They don't they don't spell it. So Fernando did the shit on the spot. We're in the studio, and we finished tracking the record, and Fernando says to me in Portuguese, he's like, "Hey man, what do you think? We all get along great. We're having a good time. Let's make it a band." I'm like, "Yeah, fucking awesome."
That's awesome.
And then we thought, all right, let's do it. We turned around. We're just everybody's partying, and Sen's like, I'm tooling around with this idea. Roy came up with this name, Powerflo. It's the way I spit over the fucking hard riffs. What do you think?
That's a hard name, man.
Listen, I'm just happy that you could do something with Sen Dog and people. When I saw the video, it's like with the car behind him, he's rapping. This shit it's dark.
Well,
it's
that's
dark,
what I'm saying. It was so
dark.
cool as a fan. Like, obviously, I'm a generation, like 2 generations removed from Billy, and a generation even younger. So, growing up,
I ain't that old. I ain't that old.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like
from pipe down there, kid.
But watching,
Number 37.
watching Cypress Hill and Biohazard come together, especially because, you know, the Judgement Night soundtrack and all those things, and then seeing it come together and it being good was so fucking cool, and it's hard, and it's cool. So it's cool to hear you guys working on a second record, because we want to
I'm going to tell you something right now.
Yeah, it's good.
A lot of bands, just was saying, a lot of bands try to do the rap rock shit, and it sucks. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And no, seriously, that's why I don't like. But you guys were like the way I do my shit, the way you do shit, it comes natural. It comes from a hard place, and we show it. But a lot of these bands, and they're big, and they're trying to shit's corny, you know what I mean? But your shit's hard, it's real, and that's why I love it, man. You know, that's why I love it.
I've seen some fucking whack bands that we but there's some real good ones. Your boys are fucking good, bro. We're gonna team up with them.
We just had them on. We just had them on before we interviewed you, so that Jeremiah is the other guest with you on this episode.
Cool, man. They got some cool shit going on. Who did that record?
Some kid from another band. He does all those rock bands, but from Pennsylvania. But fucking the first stuff, Danny produced it. Danny produced the first stuff with him. So it was good. And Laz El Nino helped him out.
Oh, nice. He's good. He's a good dude.
Yo, and Billy, you guys toured heavy on that Powerflo album cycle. I mean, you guys were everywhere on that record, right? Seemed like you guys toured like fucking. Yeah. That was like old school style touring on that one.
Fucking and people, to see living a lot of years in buses, and especially Sen Dog, from going to fucking jet planes and buses to a fucking van. So he keeps it real, man. It's in the heart.
Yeah,
and it was cool, man. We had a lot of crazy times. It was a little bit like it was in the early days of Biohazard.
Awesome.
I miss those days.
Yeah, kept it real. And then now we're on record number 2, so we're all psyched about that. But the tour plans, what's cool. We all had touring plans. So there's a lot of Powerful stuff and a lot of Billy Bio shit. But like everybody, you can't complain about it. We're happy shit's getting it's opening back up now. So we locked ourselves in the studio and just finishing the records.
Do you think that's a record we'll see before the end of this year, or maybe?
Billy Bio's coming first,
okay?
Because there's dropped the Cypress Hill record in the fall. That was the plan.
Okay.
And then the new Powerflo will be out early next year.
That's awesome, man. I'm really looking forward to that.
Billy, we got a tour. Scarhead and fucking Powerflo. That would be fun. That would be totally insane.
I'm down, dude. I'm down.
I'm down.
You're one of my favorite New Yorkers, bro.
I love you, bro. You know I love
Even though you're from Queens.
Yo, bro, I'm telling you.
I know. I miss New York, man. Yo, you should have been we just did a great tour in Europe for Persistence Tour.
Oh, that was a great lineup.
Oh, what a lineup, man.
That was crazy, right?
Yeah. Good time. It was the last big tour before shit shut down.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy you getting those tours, man. Keep touring. Tour, make the money, sell that merch, fucking make that money, bro. We all have families and kids and fucking bills. You mean? And I'm happy that kids love to come to shows now. You mean?
Yeah.
So good. Right?
It's cool.
Yeah.
Big shout
great
out
to see
MAD.
different generations. Yeah, MAD keeps it fucking good, man. Those dudes, since day one, I love them.
We got to do one of those Persistence tours back in 2006, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. I mean, just going over there, the way that our music and stuff is treated over there is like, it was like nothing I'd ever seen. So it was very cool.
They do a really cool thing. I love the family vibe. Everybody together, no bullshit. You know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I see some people try to pull some rock star shit in the past.
I see a lot of people do that.
I ain't gonna say no names, but it was the Biohazard and Agnostic Friday hate breach a long time ago. Some pretty funny shit went down.
So it's funny because for people who don't know, I mean, you guys go back fucking way, way, way back. I mean, talk a little bit about your history with Billy touring together.
I went on a tour with Sick and Roll and Biohazard, and it was the craziest. Because I always listen. I love Biohazard. I used to go to all the shows in Lamore's, or even CB's, and I always used to see Billy all the time. And, hey, what's up, guy? But we went on tour, and the Sick and Roll Biohazard, I must have gotten to like 30 fights, 30 nights.
Every day there was a fight. He's just beating some kid down. That's where you started your fame. That's where your fame started.
That tour. Craziness. First time out in Queens.
It was the best. It was one of the best fucking memories, man. I swear. That tour, fucking, and
Bobby and Danny, love them.
Oh yeah, shout out Bobby. He's so
Shout out
cool.
Bobby and Danny.
Hey Billy,
Yep.
so going back to those early days, man, what was that like for you guys coming out of like the hardcore scene and then just becoming like that trajectory to becoming like on MTV? I mean, those videos are synonymous. Me and my brother would stay up. I've talked about your videos so many times on this podcast about just how influential they were on my brother and I, and watching. Like, what's that like, man? I mean, you guys, like you said, you were just coming out of our scene to be at the forefront of something like that. Do you mind talking a little bit about that sort of story back then and that vibe coming out of that?
Yeah, I mean, Ezek was there. Like that Punishment video. These are brothers from New York.
Yes.
Those dudes fucking helped put us on the map with that. That's some great scenery. Saab, rest in peace. So many brothers. Fossil Mike.
Rest in peace.
That video is one of the coolest things, man. Like I said, man, me and my brother would watch that all the time. And like I said, I bug out now that I'm sitting here. I do a show with Ezek, and you're on here, and it's like, like I'll send a screenshot of this to my brother, and we'll like laugh about it. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was. Remember, I was a kid too. So I was seeing Biohazard. I would go to the black kids with CBGBs won't leave CBGBs. I would go to me, Hoya, and MQ would go Lamore's, and we'd be like, yo, and we'd be like, one day we're fucking with them. We're like, yo, I saw my cab driver today with a Biohazard shirt. You niggas have these guys, everyone had a Biohazard shirt. There'd be Mexicans and white guys and everyone. Yeah. No matter where you went in New York City, every sanitation workers, everyone had a Biohazard shirt.
Yeah. Oh,
it was the greatest logo. The music. This is crazy. I'm a big Carnivore fan. I love Carnivore. Love Type of Negative. And Biohazard was me when Carnivore left off. And it was like so hard. The first album, the Canadian one, the bass. It was simple, but it was like it moved me. It was like there was a groove. You know how Slayer. Shout to Heaven had a groove.
Yep.
Biohazard always had a groove, and no band could open up a Slayer and Biohazard open up a Slayer, and people would go off of Biohazard.
Yep.
That
was a crazy tour.
That was fucking amazing. You guys killed it. I was there. I was at every show. I was a fan. I was a kid. I was a fan. I was happy.
Remember we were.
I hated my life in high school. I love Biohazard.
What was the club in Long Island?
Sundance.
Remember that show with Slayer? It was Biohazard, White Zombie, Slayer.
Yes.
White Zombie opened up the show, and the dude, his name was Frank Cariola. He would sold out club.
Cariola,
yeah. After fucking White Zombie played, he would let people go outside and smoke, cool off and smoke some cigarettes, and then he would let new people in the front. And he wouldn't let the people out.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And I could pay again. He recycled that club like 3 or 4 times that night. He was fucking killing.
Yo, that was crazy. That's some like Long Island shit.
That was crazy.
Oh man, Billy.
Back with Archie.
Rest in peace, Archie SIB. Oh man. And it was just as quick. Listen, back then to watch all that happen in front of my face, and the Beavis and Butthead and all that fucking crazy shit. Biohazard was on that. Biohazard was so big, and you know what? The records were great. And then me and Puerto Rican Mike did a song. We went down to Billy's studio by the Brooklyn Bridge, and we did one of the songs. Then fucking 9/11 happened.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah, that was crazy. That record came out September 11th.
Oh. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That was crazy. I was like, yeah, I'm on the record. On the night, and God's like, no. He's like, no.
As you would call it, the hardcore curse, right?
Yeah, no curse. Anyone involved in, they almost make it Mayday. But I had Puerto Rican Mike in the studio. Billy couldn't stop laughing. Mike smiled. That was funny shit.
Yeah, no, he's wild as hell. As we've talked about him before numerous times, man. It's crazy. So Billy, talking about the videos and stuff, like, again, what was that like? Just being on tour in Middle America, where MTV and Beavis and Butthead and all.
The sold out shows. Sycamore has sold out.
It was I got to say, I didn't like how the people that were starting to follow us weren't from the hardcore scene. That always bothered me. I'm like, wait a minute, these people don't know what the fuck we're about. They like us because it was a butthead. I'm not shaking a stick at the fame.
No,
of
course.
No, I'm saying.
And I think I saw it before I could put my finger on it. I was like, and Bobby and I talked about it too. Like the fact that people who were liking us because of Beavis and Butthead, I'm like, they don't know what we're really about.
Right.
They don't know what the hardcore. They don't know where we're from. Just because MTV plays us, they were liking us. It was cool, but it hurt us in the long run. That's why bands like fucking Agnostic Front, Sick of It All, H2O, everybody that's fucking kept it real for so long, they still have the same fucking people that love them since day one. They never fucking, you know what I mean? And we never sold out, but it was kind of almost like the media blew us up to a point where it seemed like we changed. We didn't change.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? We didn't do anything different.
I would say what's cool now over the past, I would say like probably 10 or so years is seeing the like newer kids kind of, I don't want to say mimic Biohazard because that sounds bad, but how heavily influenced kids are by Biohazard now in the hardcore scene. And it's cool. And it's like, it's awesome because again, coming from dudes like me and E, where Biohazard was always cool to us. It's like you said, it got out of this way, you know, where it was not really from our scene to now come back to our scene and seeing the kids really embrace it again and discovering those records like, you know, that, you know, maybe people weren't listening to right off the rip that now they're rediscovering again and stuff. And it's cool because a lot of it has to do with streaming and Biohazard being so available to kids to listen to, dude, putting out quality content like those videos. I think too, people seeing Billy, how cool your career trajectory has continued from the band too, man. Cause a lot of people do cool shit and they don't really stay in that realm. So to see that you've kind of still done stuff like the Powerflo thing, your solo record on Bridge 9, you know, kind of, it's kept it very cool, man. I got to say as a fan, you know?
Thank you, brother. But I think the thing, that's why when Evan split from the band, like early, like 2011, I think we were working on a record.
Listen, I'm going to ask you this. You can answer that. What was that about?
Bro, you know as well as I do. I think he quit Biohazard way before he physically left the band. But he was going through some personal shit, and that's his business. But we were at a point where we got back together with Bobby, and it was like the fire was back. I was like, "Holy, this is fucking great!"
Yeah,
we had a great run. We had a great time. The shows were fucking awesome. We got along great. Bobby was clean and sober. Suddenly, it was like Biohazard all over again. And then Evan started to drift apart, and he was back to his shit. And he went through some shit, personal shit, that it got to a point where he just fucking quit. And I think he quit thinking we would be like, we need you, without you we're nothing. And we were like, good riddance. You know, we'll figure out a way. We love this. We got captured this fucking eye of the tiger, and that fire was back in the band in our hearts and soul. So we got that dude Scott Roberts. He came in. He loved what we were doing.
Yeah, he sounded exactly like him.
Yeah.
And shit started to turn around. We did a new record. We toured a lot.
Yeah.
And spent a lot of time on the road. And it was kind of like things started to look better for the band. And we kept it going. We started working on a new record. And then Scott was more into oi than he was hardcore. Wasn't into doing what we were doing. And he just split. You know, we got a big fallout. But Evan, you know, I wish him well. I got, you know, no desire to talk to the dude. But I have no ill will for nobody, you know?
All I have to say, I got an old school Rickenbacker, and I know the Biohazard songs. That's all I have to say.
That would be a good. That would be a good. That would be even for one show. You know.
You know who called us up?
I'm trying to get crazy.
That would be awesome. But you know who's this is funny. You're gonna get a kick out of this. In 5 minutes, as soon as word got out that Evan was out, Harley called up.
Oh. That's a good.
No, but you know what? He's a dope ass bass player. He can sing.
He's great.
I thought you say, yo, Hoya called up.
Hoya would be great too.
Hoya would be on, right? Yeah.
So we're still doing it. We'll see. We'll try to get. We're trying to find the right guy when the right person falls in front of us at the right time. It'll work.
All right, so there you heard it. If anybody who listens to Diablo's Den that's worthy, you could send a message through us and we'll get it through Billy. But you gotta get through me and you first to see if it's good. So hey Billy, can I ask you a quick question too about your memories of the Judgement soundtrack? Just because again, that was such a cool collaboration back in the day, and it seems like again one of those things that on paper people would be like, what the fuck is this? But it's executed so well. Can you tell me a little bit about what your memories are with that and kind of your track coming together and a little bit about that?
Mike Snap came up with that, right?
Yeah, Mike Snap and this guy, Happy Walters.
Walters. Oh, shit. Yeah.
So I worked on, I did a song with Onyx called Slam. I did like a remix thing that we did the video for, remember? Yep. And then that relationship that we formed with Onyx from that came up again to work together on Judgement Night. And the Judgement Night, the movie's not that great, but the soundtrack.
No, the soundtrack has outlived that movie by
Peter
10
Green. Shout out to Peter Green.
Yeah, shout out to Peter Green.
Peter Green. And Everlast. Yep. And so the way everybody mixed their shit together was fucking really unique. There's not one song that's like anything else on that record. Everybody put together their own shit in a different way. So it was a fucking very innovative record at the time. I don't think it got the fucking right light that it deserved.
Did it go gold?
It's platinum, brother. Fucking awesome.
That's awesome.
Joe Fatal's on the album too. Joe Fatal's on the album.
Shout out Joe Fatal.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Platinum.
He's with who was Joe with?
Is Joe Fatal mixed and I forgot
no,
who
the name of the band is I forget. It's like the one that wasn't I'll have to plug it in.
Not De La Soul.
No.
What do you do?
It was Joe Fatal and the band fucking I totally forgot it. Fuck. I should call him.
Hold on.
Where's it, Joe Fatal? He's looking at like the
I know. He's like, where's my platinum record?
He was in the one Therapy and Fatal. Track 10, Come and Die is his.
Yeah.
Yep.
So go ahead, Billy. So you were just saying, so that came together out of the relationship with you and Onyx.
Yeah, and then I don't think that that record didn't get the light that it did later at the time. It stood the test of time, and I just did an interview with Rolling Stone. It's like a 20-year anniversary or something like that.
Oh yeah, I read that. It was great.
It was like an innovative, never done before thing. And after that, I remember that we did a Black Sabbath cover record called Negativity in Black, which was pretty cool. So people started putting together more big compilations off of those kind of things because of the success, and it was good. It worked. Yeah, we did a video for that with Drew Stone, and that was pretty fucking badass. Yeah. Isaac E, the fucking Drew Stone one. Oh yeah. Awesome. You guys have to have a comedy show, the two of you.
Yeah. He's out of his mind. I love him. He's just out of his fucking mind.
That episode was.
Yeah, the episode I was like, yo, Drew Stone was my buddy. Then when the thing came out, he didn't want to like talk shit about nobody. He's like, I was like, fucking laugh, Drew Stone. You were talking shit 5 minutes before.
I know. He's trying to be all. It's because he's doing it from his house with his father. That's why. He's a famous director. He wants to be professional.
Dad.
Oh my god, you guys are killing
Dad,
me.
where's the
meatloaf? Hey, so Billy, before we let you go, I want to talk too about you're a big into the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, man. So talk a little bit about that because that's a lot for years. A lot of our listeners are into that. Can you talk a little bit about your history in that and sort of what you like to do and stuff?
Shit.
So, yeah, man, it's a big part of my life, the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. We saw the first UFC, and we were like fighters as kids. Like everybody in New York grew up fighting. But after losing so many, I think I was like, I saw the fucking UFC. I'm like, I want to learn from those motherfuckers. And we tracked down everybody that we knew. And it was actually Vinny Stigma's his sister, Paula.
Paula, yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Shout out to Paula, Seafood Paula.
Yep, we started a little bit of Wing Chun, and through them we met this dude who was part of the Gracie family, and we hired the dude to bring on tour.
I remember that.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that was 19. It was after the first UFC was 1990, November 93 and 94 in the winter. We started training, and it's been nonstop ever since. So it's been a long time, but
that's
it's
amazing.
My wife's a fucking purple belt. My kids.
Amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
My girl wants to start doing it. I'm kind of scared because she'll fuck me up then.
Bro,
Right?
that's you're the one dude the Gracies won't fuck with, I bet.
Yo, I'm the Marcos Ruiz of New York hardcore.
Yep.
I step on niggas' toes.
Fucking awesome.
That's awesome, man. Well, yo, Billy, thank you so much for joining us on the
Billy, I
Corona
love you,
Chronicles,
Billy.
man. As a
brother.
as a fan, I just want one story before I let you go because I don't even think you remember this, but I got to tell it on the show because it's just so crazy. So this is probably like 2002. You guys are playing Toad's Place. My parents are away for vacation, right, and I'm having a party at my house. Josta brings Biohazard over to my house, and kids are bugging out because they're like, how is Biohazard at your house? And it was funny because we had kids.
That's hard.
Yo, it was hard because I have my high school friends and like the hardcore kids, so it was like two totally different things. Jamie walks in with Biohazard into like this party, and my mom calls, and she's like, oh, blah blah. She's like, what's going on? I said to her, I was like, yo, we're having a party. She didn't believe me, but literally there was a background and like these guys were there, and I love telling that story. So, Billy, you probably don't remember that, but I have to tell it because it's just. We talk about it all the time, the infamous, Biohazard walking into my parents' house and hanging out with Josta while high school kids are going nuts. And then you guys played Toads that night, and it was a lot. It was just a great show.
I know. Josh's age, man. I did a track with him.
He looks like Richie Rich.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did a track with him on his new record.
Yeah.
That came out great. But I remember, that's another thing. Jamie, another example. That dude always kept it fucking real.
Kept it real,
He was
hard
fucking
worker, one of the best guys in the world.
From promoting fucking bands as a little kid to being in fucking a band, and then he still keeps it fucking. He still does it. Fucking super successful. Good for him, man.
Good
Billy,
for him,
that's how
anyone in our scene. Listen, if anyone in our scene can make it in music and make a living, I'm happy. I'm not a hater. I'm like, good for them. But you know why? You know why? Because you guys are just as fucked up as I am.
Yeah.
For being in my scene.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
like
it.
Billy, I met you actually. That's how we connected, was through Joss on the Killer Be Killed album cycle. We did the marketing stuff for that, and you guys were doing a bunch of shows in Connecticut. And I just have so many great memories of that. So, dude, thank you for joining us on this. I know you were out there recording and doing stuff. So, before we sign off, where can everybody find you online? Anything you want to plug before we let you go?
Yeah, I'm always online. It's Billy Biohazard everywhere. You can get my shit from Powerflo, Biohazard, Billy Bio, and I answer the shit personally. So hit me up. I'd love to talk to you. I'll tell you stories, and I'll eat your band.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, dude, Billy, thank you so much.
Good seeing you guys, man. Love you too, brother. Good seeing you.
All right,
Yeah,
be
thank
safe,
you,
Billy.
guys.
We'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Love you, brother.
Have a good one. Peace.
Peace. Yo, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight on the Corona Chronicles, episode number 4. This is myself, Jay Reason, and the one and only Danny Diablo signing off. So, Eve, thank you so much. Stay safe. Everybody sign up for the newsletter, sign up for the YouTube channel, all the good stuff. We will see you guys soon. Thank you so much. Peace.